How About That Cigar is proud to bring you coverage of the 2023 PCA Trade Show, all brought to you by Don Doroteo Cigars.
How About That Cigar? We are here at PCA 2023, and now we are in the Micallef Cigars booth with Mr. Dan Thompson.
Welcome, Matt. It's great to have you here.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be with you guys. And day two of the trade show. Day one has been busy, and day two is starting out pretty busy as well. So talk to us about, before we get to this featured cigar that everybody is talking about, just talk us through a little bit of how you guys approach a trade show before it even begins, for planning and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the reality for us being a small team is trade show planning never ends.
Okay.
You literally work on it year round because you're thinking about what cigars you're bringing to market, the stories that are going to accompany that. In our case, how are we going to build a booth out? We kind of went with a 360-degree approach where we tell our story at different stations, but it's something that's planned on all year.
Yeah.
And especially with it being in March of next year, it's becoming really all year.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be. It's going to be very super fast that we're back together again. And not only the PCA trade show, there's other trade shows,
Sure.
There's other big events, whether it's other big multi-vendor cigar events throughout the year. How do you guys manage and decide which of those big shows you're going to be a part of and which ones that you're going to stay out of?
It's a great question. And the North Star that we set our compass by is how does it impact the brick and mortars who are our business partners and what they actually sell.
Yeah.
And when you use that as a compass, you get to exclude many activities that are done by third parties that may be great activities,
Yeah.
but they're not part of our financial ecosystem. And so, for example, we'll do the Great Smoke in Florida with Smoke In and Abe.
Yeah.
We do other multi-vendor events, Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival, and it's always centered around a brick and mortar business and trying to help support that.
Yeah.
PCA is for the whole industry of retailers, and so that's kind of how our trade show event calendar gets set.
Okay. Now, we talked about this before we went on camera, that, all of us who work in cigar media, who have podcasts and websites and things like that, we all talk, we all know each other, and we also talk about what sort of the buzz items are at upcoming trade shows. And this black has been on everybody's minds. Everybody's been talking about it. So this is a very exciting project for you guys. So talk us through this new product.
I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
I can't say how things work at other cigar companies because I've never worked at one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of like the first caveat. So what I'm about to explain may be completely insane or it could be completely rational. I'm not sure which, you tell me. At the end of 2019, I stepped into leadership for Al Micallef in this company. And we looked very hard inside ourselves in areas where we were winning and where we were failing.
Yeah.
And one of the decisions we made is our factory in Esteli is core to our mission and business. We're not just a brand, we actually manufacture everything that we ship.
Right.
Once you put that with brick and mortars that you're going to exclusively sell to, you can begin to set a strategy. And a strategy is choosing options and not choosing other options. So we began by thinking about how we acquired tobacco. When we were new in the industry, people were fantastic to us. The Placencias and other families allowed us to buy out of their inventories, and that was great, and it let us get started. But as we thought about how we would scale, and that we thought in the long run, we wanted to have our $4, $8, and $12 cigars in just kind of contemporary pricing.
Yeah.
That to do that $8 cigar was going to take some strategic work and planning. So it started with us buying fields of tobacco from the Torrent family in San Andreas in 2020.
Oh, well, 3 years ago. Okay.
So what I'm foreshadowing is this is 4 years coming, the cigar. So we had 1 year on setting our strategy straight,
Yeah.
getting our tobacco, then you bring it in and you begin fermenting it, doing all the pre-industry in our own factory, and that's 12, 18 months. It just depends on how the tobacco, what kind of love it needs. then you pull together your theme,
Yeah.
you know, and you set up your supply chain with box vendors and brands and labels and whatnot. And today we're happy to announce that the Micallef Black is available. It's been a 4-year journey with a lot of strategic choices, and we're just so happy that people are loving it. That's how you do it.
Yeah. Well, and it's before we went on camera too, we had lit up the cigar, drinking a little coffee here in the morning, and it just goes so nicely together. Even because sometimes cigar consumers, they see a dark wrapper and they maybe get a little pensive. They think, oh, that's going to be a super duper strong cigar. But this cigar, it's my first cigar of the day. With this coffee, it's just a really nice way to start the day.
Yeah, and I think there's characteristics. When you decide to do not the strongest cigar ever created, but strongest in your portfolio.
Yeah.
One of the things that we do really well is fermentation, so there's no harshness. It's a very smooth cigar, right? Harshness is often an indication of under-fermentation. And then we're able to build the strength of the cigar with the Ligero as you go through, so that you have a nice smooth start. As you smoke through it, the strength ramps up and you get that full experience that a strong cigar should be able to provide you without any of the characteristics of harshness or bitterness that sometimes happen in other cigars.
Right. And what Vitolas is this cigar available in?
It's only available in the Toro and Robusto.
Okay.
That's a decision, as we've learned. Those are two favorites in the market.
Sure.
There's some discussion. People are already asking, will you build a Gordo? That's not really our strength, but I would say it's a possibility.
Okay.
We also will eventually release it in a 40 ring gauge 5x40 Landreas format as part of our collector's box.
Right.
So we have that collector's box that has 8 of our blends. What we'll do is we'll take one blend out and we'll put the black in it. So I don't know, maybe next year or 18 months from now, it'll be in that box.
Okay.
So it'll be in that format also.
Okay. Now, in addition to this, the release of the Micallef Black, as you guys meet at this trade show with your retail partners and your friends in the business, and even throughout the year as you go and visit their shops and you talk to them on the phone, what are you guys hearing from them about your core lines? You know, performance, what are the consumers saying that they're really getting into with your core lines?
We're interesting because we've kind of bifurcated the market in an unintended way that's not good for us.
Okay.
We have some shops that have been with us on our journey for 5-6 years, and they see us continue to improve.
Yeah.
We've actually limited the number of brands and lines that we have, and it's a very positive thing. Then there's the majority of the market that, even though we're a 6-7-year-old company, they've never even experienced Micallef.
Right.
That's what I mean by bifurcated the market.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, but we always have to remember that the majority of the people we're going to meet in the consumer base don't know anything about our company, even though we have an ambassador group of 10,000 people who know a whole lot about us.
Yeah.
But 10,000 is not the same as 2 or 3 million.
Yeah. And it's good to see that you guys really have taken a step in that social media space that a lot of companies haven't, and I think it's really been beneficial to you guys. Talk a little bit about that social media space.
So we knew that we wanted to have a Micallef Ambassador program from when we launched the business.
Yeah.
And we really brought it in about year 3.5, right as I was stepping in as a leader. And what we wanted to do was be able to have the relationship that exists in every store with 1 or 2 people who kind of determine what people in the store smoke.
Yeah.
You know, there's always an influential group or 2 groups or 3 groups. And so we wanted to be able to tap into that community power.
Yeah.
And so we do it in person, we do it online. We have about 10,000 on our mailing list. We have about 4,200 who actively participate in Facebook. So I think it's been a very positive experience. We break news there.
Yeah.
So before we release that there's going to be a Micallef Black publicly, the ambassadors all knew about it.
Yeah, and that makes those consumers feel like an insider.
They're part of it.
Yeah.
That's right. You know, there's certain times when, unfortunately, we have excellent construction, but sometimes something fails. You know,
It happens.
They just reach out to us. You know, And especially if we've known you or seen your face before, it's really easy to replace it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of scams that happen. We don't want to be part of that. But for people that are ambassadors, I mean, we just take care of them.
Yeah.
And I think that accessibility is something that draws people into the cigar industry, and hopefully we're taking it a step further and being more accessible than most.
Yeah. Well, it's a good, exciting time for you guys. And like I said, this project has been on a lot of people's lips leading up to this trade show. And we really hope that your retail partners love this cigar as much as the community out there seems to. And we just wish you a fantastic rest of the year and cannot wait to see what 2024 brings.
Matt, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting case where we actually pre-launched the cigar in brick and mortars before the show.
Yeah.
And we really believe that consumers getting it in the hand before the show has created a positive wave of momentum for us.
I think
and
that's
so
true.
I appreciate and love every consumer who was willing to take a bet on it,
Yeah.
knowing it's in a pre-release state. And we're just incredibly grateful for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you
So
for
thank
taking
you
some
very
time with
much.
us. Yeah. Well, guys, check it out. If you do not have Micallef cigars at your local brick and mortar retailer, how can they find retailers near them?
So you can go to MicallefCigars.com.
Okay.
There's a retailer map.
Okay.
There's also the ambassador program. And then the sellers, the leadership team are all available, Instagram, whatever your personal social media preference is.
Yeah.
We certainly are available. And if you need us to do something, just drop us a note and we'll
Fantastic. Good. Well, thank you again, Dan.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it.
do it. Thank you, Matt.
All right, guys. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.